The German government is in crisis this morning, and the political future of Chancellor Angela Merkel is in question. She was handed another blow last night when Interior Minister and leader of the CSU coalition party, Horst Seehofer, he offered to step down. And it comes amid a fundamental disagreement over migration. Jessica Saltz has the story.
Germany's Interior Minister has offered to resign, escalating a row over migration with Chancellor Angela Merkel that threatens her fragile government. Horst Seehofer said he would quit as both minister and as chair of his Christian Social Union. His announcement came as his party discussed the immigration proposals Merkel brought back from Brussels last week. It makes the future of Merkel's government even more uncertain, since her Christian Democratic Party relies on the Bavarian Conservative CSU to maintain power. The coalition was only formed 3 months ago, ending a political vacuum which existed since last year's September election. Last week, Seehofer threatened to turn asylum seekers away from Germany's borders unless Merkel reached an acceptable deal with other EU partners. Late on Sunday, Merkel's Christian Democratic Union passed a resolution supporting her position on migration.
That was our correspondent Jessica Saltz reporting there, and she joins me live now from Berlin. Jessica, so we heard there Seehofer's resignation is on the table, but it hasn't actually been accepted. Is he serious or is it political posturing?
Yes, we saw Horst Seehofer place a last-minute ultimatum on Angela Merkel, whether he'll continue to work with her as an interior minister. He said that the deals that she brought back from Brussels last week do not go far enough to curb migration into Germany. He instead is pushing his so-called master plan on migration. But, of course, these tensions have been mounting between Seehofer and Merkel in recent weeks, and in fact between their two respective parties. And this is more than just the issue of migration. This is also a real political standoff between these two parties, and in fact it's being seen as Horst Seehofer trying to challenge Angela Merkel's authority. So I think we'll see some last-ditch attempts for talks today. Of course, Seehofer has also been accused of prioritising politics in Bavaria rather than national politics. Of course, Bavaria has an election coming up in October where migration's been made a key focal issue. However, it must be said that this anti-Merkel stance that Seehofer and some of his other CSU members have taken has reflected very badly on them in opinion polls. So talks between Seehofer and Merkel will take place today. Will she be able to get him back on side? Of course, this remains to be seen.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, this is a headache for Angela Merkel. And what does she have to do now to keep the government together?
Well, I think in some ways it would be a bit of a relief if Seehofer did resign, because there's been mutiny in the ranks in the Conservative alliance from the CSU party on the issue of migration, and he's been a very vocal ringleader. And it, of course, would remove the problem of Angela Merkel of whether or not to fire him if the CSU party did decide to work unilaterally and turn migrants away from the border. However, if Seehofer does resign, or if indeed he is fired by Angela Merkel, this will leave a gaping void of the job of Interior Minister in the government and just highlight how fractured the Conservative alliance is at the moment. So a real headache from Angela Merkel. She does have the broad support from her CDU party and also the Social Democrats on her migrant deal, but many tensions remain within the government at the moment.
All right, thank you, Jessica Saltz.